Hi, everyone. I'm going to give people about 2 more minutes to join and we can get started. Yes, the meeting will be recorded and posted to our website. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see the screen and hear me? Great. We have 1 more minute. There's still a couple more people joining. For those that just joined, can I get a thumbs up if you can see the screen and hear me? Yeah, great. So my name's Tasim Malik. I work in the Environmental Programs branch at DDOT, the District Department of Transportation, where we administer the NEVI program, which is the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program. It's part of the bipartisan infrastructure law where states receive formula funds to grant eligible entities to install, operate, and maintain direct current fast charging stations at eligible locations. And so right now DDOT has a grant opportunity open and I'll go over the program requirements, timelines, and all that. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A. So we had a request for applications open 2 years ago, and we made some updates to the RFA process since then. And so some of these updates are in this grant opportunity, there's $9.6 million available, and that fund has been obligated since January 30th, 2026. This new RFA also has a new demand charge incentive where 100% of HEPCO's delivery distribution demand charges that are incurred will be refunded or reimbursed through the NEVI program across 5 years with a cap of $100,000. We also have a sample of the notice of grant agreement, the NOGA, attached to the RFA, so you can get a first look at the sample of the grant agreement. Once awarded needs to be signed between DDOT and the awardee. And with this funding round, DDOT's goal is to achieve fully built out status. So the next round, we can move on to the community build out plan. So what are the eligible locations? To achieve fully built out status, stations need to be located within 1 travel mile of an alternative fuel corridor, which was designated by FHWA. And right now, one AFC is fully built out in DC, which is I-295. There was a NEVI compliant station installed using EVC raw grant money by the District Department of Energy and Environment. And so we have 5 AFCs remaining that we need to achieve fully built out status to move on to the community round. And so this funding round is focusing on the 5 remaining AFCs. And the red star shows where that Benning Road charger is located. And my first slide had a picture of what that station looks like. So how do you measure one travel mile? And I'll use the Benning Road charger as an example. So to measure one travel mile, you can just go onto Google Maps, have point A as the beginning of the exit ramp or the middle of the intersection point, and from there to the opening or to the entrance of the parking facility. So it doesn't need to be up to exactly where the charging station is, just to where the entrance of the parking facility starts. So we measured it here. This is where the exit ramp starts on I-295. And this is where the entrance to the parking facility is. And the charger is where this star is located. And what are the minimum station requirements? Same as last time, this is following Title 23 CFR 680, and this is also in the RFA that's been posted on March 3rd. But high level, these are the minimum requirements. At least 4 ports need to be capable of charging at least one CCS Type 1 compliant EV. Every station needs to be publicly accessible 24/7. There can be a pay gate to enter the garage or the parking lot, but the garage or parking lot needs to be accessible 24/7. Annual uptime of 97% or greater than 97%, and the stations must provide contactless payment method for major credit and debit cards. Site preferences. So the proposed sites will be scored based on the scoring criteria set in the RFA, and we're generally looking for places with like restrooms and food options and amenities, and nearby where while people are waiting for their vehicle to charge, there's something to do. And there's also scoring given to amenities that are open within typical business hours, and greater points if it's open 24/7, and presence of safety features and security features like lighting, cameras, security, things like that. The submission requirements. This is all in the RFA, but I'll go over it here. So applicant profile, which is attachment A in the RFA, just listing high level what basic information about the applicant. Table of contents, application summary, sort of an executive summary that's 1 page long, covering high level what your project is, and then the main contents of the project: staffing plan, equipment specification sheet showing like all the requirements are met, a conceptual site plan. This doesn't need to be like a full engineer design set, just like an aerial shot of the proposed site and where the chargers are proposed to be placed and the trenching required, things like that. And it's just conceptual site plan, once the design starts, things could change. Project schedule, an operation and maintenance plan, a price proposal. A template is provided in attachment F of the RFA, and price proposal justification, sort of like a budget narrative. PEPCO letter of support. Later in the presentation, I'll go over how to request that letter of support from PEPCO. A property owner letter of support. This doesn't need to be a full agreement between the applicant and the site host. Just DDOT doesn't need to know the specifics of that agreement, just a letter showing the property owner is fine with having a NEVI station at their site. Application checklist, attachment B, that's attached to the RFA, a NEPA checklist, and the certifications and assurance, and all of the last 4 documents are attached to the RFA. So the property owner letter of support, again, doesn't need to be the formal agreement between the applicant and the site host, just a high-level letter of support stating the property owner is fine with having a NEVI station located at their site. And the PEPCO letter of support, the intention of this letter of support is to show the utility connection at the proposed site is feasible. And so to request this, it's same as you submit a Pepco service application through the Pepco online portal and have your specific site address to put into that portal application. And so that allows Pepco to generate a work order, verify that there's service available, and create the letter of support for your proposed locations. And in the comments of that request, you can put that this is for the NEVI, DDOT NEVI grant agreement. So you can receive that letter before the May 26th deadline. And you can also reach out to Corshea Burnell at Pepco with any specific questions for that letter of support, or how to use the online portal to submit a Pepco service application. So these are the grant award. Once receiving award, the reporting requirements and timelines. DDOT has a 1-year installation requirement. So the date the grant agreement is executed, the awardee has 1 year to complete installation. And then from that date, it's 5 years of operation and maintenance. And during the installation period, it's monthly reporting requirements to DDOT. And there will be a template provided during the agreement process on what the reporting looks like. And then once the station is fully operational, it's quarterly reporting and no more monthly. And then with that, there's annual reporting to DDOT to receive, to submit copies of invoices to receive reimbursements. Reimbursements will be given in lump sum at the end of each year of the agreement. And then there's the federal reporting requirement through EV chart. And attachment G in the RFA provides a sample of this grant agreement where you can take a look at the specific requirements. So during the last funding round, we got a lot of feedback to have some sort of tool to help site hosts and applicants and other sort of subcontractors or other types of funding opportunities to staff and for folks to connect via. And so we created this partnership facilitation tool. So the first link is a form to fill out with your contact information, what your intention is with the NEVI program. Are you an EV company, green bank, a site host, electrical subcontractor, whatever, to fill out this form. And then in the next link, it's just a spreadsheet with everybody's contact information publicly displayed, and we can reach out to each other to partner up for the NEVI grant opportunity. Timeline. So the RFA opened March 3rd, and applications are due May 26th by 5 p.m. at nevi@dc.gov. And this summer, our plan is to announce conditional awards for the grant opportunity and begin executing the grant agreements. Yeah, so that was high level what the NEVI grant opportunity is right now. I'm going to open it up for questions from folks. You can unmute or just put it in the chat. Yeah, so we'll post the NEVI presentation on the NEVI the DDOT NEVI website. Miles. I think you can unmute now.
Okay, I see it. Hi, my name is Miles Walker. I had a question about the ANC. Are any of these sites subjected to those rules against the ANC?
Like the advisory neighborhood commissions?
Yeah.
No, so NEVI stations, so I think you might be getting confused with the curbside program. So the NEVI stations for this round cannot be proposed curbside. They have to be in parking lots and parking garages, any sort of parking facility, not curbside. And they're only for DC fast chargers. So no, ANCs do not need to be coordinated with. But you can reach out to ANCs. Maybe they can help you find a site host if there's like a particular ANC you're looking at. Yeah, like if there's an within this eligible location, you can probably reach out to an agency to get support.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Bernadette asked, can we reply with partners that may not be on your list? Yeah, so this list is just to put your name in a public um, sort of forum to connect with. It's not like a list that we are specifically targeting to award NEVI to or anything like that. It's just a tool to help connect with folks. But you can, if you have your own partners already, um, there's no need to use this tool. Any other questions? Um, Anna asked, do you mind dropping the partnership ID and connection links? Yeah, so once I post this presentation to the website, you can access the link, and the links are already on the website too. Are there questions about, just to guide this, about the specific submission requirements?
Is there any flexibility on a site if it's like a mile and a half, but it has a lot of amenities nearby?
So the FHW requirement is that it needs to be within 1 travel mile. Um, Bernadette asked, is there a site that you recommend to get a closer look at the corridors? Uh, so this map is on our NEVI website, and you can zoom in to look at specific locations within this purple area. Dylan asked, do you require the network to be part of an approved vendor list? No, there is no approved vendor list. Any other questions? Dylan asked, assuming there's an approved FC list. There isn't an approved FC list. The equipment should still be have the Buy America requirements, but because these funds are obligated before the notice, the original BABA requirements apply, which are that 55%. Um, but besides that, there's no approved vendor list. Rod asks, can you explain in detail how the 20% collateral will be administered? Um, so there is a 20% match requirement. NEVI will fund 80% of the project, and the 20% that has to be provided by the awardee. And so it's up to you to determine where that fund comes from. Hope that makes sense. You can come off of mute, Rod, to clarify how I just gave you the mic. Edwin asked, it looks like part of 66 into DC is also a corridor. Oh, that's not a corridor. It's coming in from like Virginia. It's part of theirs. Yeah. I didn't fully cut off the map with the exactly. So the only corridors that are left are the ones shown on the list: I-395, 695, US 1, US 50, and Penn Avenue Southeast. What is the expected turnaround time for PEPCO to be able to provide a letter? Um, as long as the letter is submitted by May 26th, or the whole application package is submitted by May 26th, is anybody from PEPCO on pushing? Um, yeah, so I can follow up with PEPCO to ask what their turnaround time is and add that to the presentation before I upload to the website. Rod asks who's the best contact person for additional questions. So you can contact me to see Malik. Uh, this is my email to scene.malik@dc.gov. Chat. You can email me if you have additional questions, and then if it's questions regarding specifically the PEPCO letter of support, you can reach out to Portia Burnell. And this is her email on the screen. Uh, is there a limit on the number of sites you can propose? No, there's no limit. You can propose as many sites as you want, but they have to be separate applications. So you can't just submit one application for all, like say if you're proposing five locations. Um, and awards will be given based on how much funding we have. If if you submit multiple applications and based on our priority locations. So um, we'll give additional awards if there's funding left and we've fully built out the five remaining AFCs. That makes sense. Edwin asked, are there additional points for battery storage? Is it favorable to applications? Yes. So in the RFA, we do give additional points if there's battery storage or renewable energy use. So if your project has solar panels, things like that, future proofing with capacity to add additional chargers. So those pro proposal aspects give additional points. Any other questions? I'll give 5 more minutes to stay online for folks to ask any questions, and after that, I'll end the meeting. Thanks everyone for joining. If you don't have any more questions, you can drop off. A recording and the presentation slides will be posted to the DDOT website. I'll be online 5 more minutes. If no more questions, I'll end the call now. I'll give you 2 seconds to ask any questions. Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Look forward to seeing your applications, and feel free to reach out to me with any other questions. Everyone.